I'd like to thank you for being here today. I've read your testimony. We've reviewed it. One thing is clear to me. Not one of you discussed in your testimony increased competition in the industry. You don't even reference competition with one another. In fact, Mr. Begor, you stated millions of Americans have benefited from the efficient structure of FCRA. Yet what I see here is an oligopoly, right? We have three of you not really competing, and the consumers are the ones that are losing out. I think that's a problem. That state of limited competition has real ramifications. So how does an oligopoly protect consumers? Okay, I'll take that as an answer. So each of you reference in your testimony that you have an efficient way, very quick, simple way to lock your credit. If somebody's concerned about, for whatever reason, their credit file being stolen or accessed by other folks. Is that correct? You all have a very quick, easy process online for that.
That's correct. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you also have, all of you have referenced the changes in Senate Bill 2155. Some of you have referenced the fact that we talk about synthetic identity fraud for kids, right? And you all enable parents to lock kids' credit scores, their children's credit, right?
That's correct. Correct.
Yes.
Right. And you would encourage parents to do that if they have concerns.
That's correct. Correct.
Yes.
So let's compare those two processes. You have this innovative process you talk about, which Americans can freeze or lock their credit with a simple click. And anyone listening can go on the website right now, any of the three websites, it's a click, and they advertise this. So I'm a parent of two children. One's 4. She hasn't told me she has a credit card yet. The 13-month-old, I am concerned, though. But I looked at your process to freeze my child's credit. And while I can very easily and efficiently click through a process and do it online to lock my credit, for my child, I'm required to get a copy of my Social Security card, my driver's license, and their birth certificate, a copy of both of my children's Social Security cards. I'm sorry, my birth certificate, not just my child's, my birth certificate as well. A copy of my child's birth certificate, as well as their Social Security card, documentation either through a birth certificate, court order, lawfully executed power of attorney, or foster care certification that my wife and I are their parents. And your efficient process, every single one of you, the three of you, have a process by which we use the United States Postal Service to mail photocopies to you of this sensitive information. So why is it that when it's protecting my data, it's an efficient process? And why is it such an inefficient process using an antiquated analog paper system to protect kids? Why isn't it as simple as a click? And how do I know that those documents are secure when I mail it to you? You also reference the fact that those documents will not be returned to the sender. So with nearly a million kids exposed to synthetic identity fraud each year, you've made this process needlessly slow because you don't think it's in your corporate interest to make the process more efficient. Nor is there competition for you to add in some better way for parents to do this. So how do I know that your system takes these paper copies and ensures that they're delivered to the right and appropriate department, The information on these pieces of paper is being protected through a secure chain of custody, and the paper copies and information are being destroyed at the end of the process. There's an enormous amount of trust there. So the frustration I have here is that I don't see that vibrant competition which is needed for this industry to actually help consumers in the way that the law should instruct. That's why we need to update the law. That's why we need more competition. And simply taking you 3 down to 1 and putting you in government is not the solution either. So we need to make sure there's competition so that consumers actually can win and parents can have a more efficient way to protect their kids. I yield back.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next.